Hello everyone, welcome back to Sports Recovery. We're here to do this Premier League title race podcast because it's heating up. It was a three-way race. Akshata, is it fair to say that it is now a two-way race?
Yeah. Is it mathematically also possible for us to
Yeah,
win?
it is. It is. It is.
I'm too scared to look at the table now, so I've not
Uh,
looked at
it
the
is
table.
mathematically
Same,
possible.
same.
Yeah, Liverpool can still get to 84, and Arsenal on 80 points and City are on 79. So mathematically, yeah, it is possible. But how has it been, Akshata, the last couple of weeks?
Not very good. I mean, they've cancelled the parade, so you can imagine how good things are, right?
Yeah, fair
So
enough.
I mean, yeah.
Rishi, dude, a smile on your face. Liverpool messing up, and you had a big part to play in it.
I mean, it might not be factually true, but I'm going to live in this fantasy world where we started Liverpool's downfall this season, and I'm going to happily live with that fact. It was like being
That
sarcastic,
was
and he
fun.
was asking, "Oh, what is the FA Cup score going to be?" And then I was like,
Mm,
"We might just edge through. Like we can probably
yeah,
just
yeah,
scam a win somehow." And I think that up until that point, Liverpool were at a really comfortable cruise control mode where they were just throwing the kitchen sink at it and getting the results. And after that, it just gone downhill since then. And I don't know how even Klopp is not able to find out a way to stop, like apply some brakes on the downhill curve.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude. And I think, yeah, my brother is also a Liverpool fan. He mentioned Robert Ross, my brother's name, and he arrogantly told Rishi actually, Akshata. He was like, "Yeah, what do you think the score is going to be? 3-0, 4-0, maybe, and all that." And yeah, I remember Rishi responding. But yeah, it's been a crazy season. Ali, dude, what do you think about Liverpool? Because at a point they were top, looked like I actually honestly felt like Liverpool will slip up because the number of chances they weren't putting away, even when they were winning games, was just way too many. Do you think it's just down to that, or are there other factors as well?
But I feel like it's compounded right over the season. Like, to be fair, they started out the best out of the three teams, right? Till the end of 2023, they were the most consistent team. Their only loss came against Tottenham, where that was
Yeah,
also very like, that
which was
controversy,
shouldn't have been a
it
shouldn't
was
have been
which
a
is
game.
very controversial. Technically, first half they didn't lose a game. And I think it was where like what do you call that? AFCON is where they started slipping up. And I think those injuries is where they've really gone down. I feel like they've been one of the teams that have been very unlucky with injuries. Most of the players are not fit. Konate, even with the defense, Konate hasn't been there for most of the season. Matip's gone. A lot of key players they've missed, and one important factor, it was always going to be you see City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Liverpool, Arsenal, and City have that CDM which has always been able to, shut down their defense and protect the defense. And I felt like that was one missing factor with Liverpool over the beginning of the season, where I thought that will catch up to them in the later part. And you can see that caught up to them, over the past a month, basically, through
Yeah,
Europa
yeah,
League, through Premier League. They've been leaking goals a lot. So
yeah.
I felt like Liverpool would have been that team that would, unfortunately slip.
Yeah, dude, even I had that feeling. I don't know why, but I did. Actually, what has led to the sort of downward trajectory for Liverpool in the past few weeks?
I don't know, Rahul. Like I've asked this question to so many people. There's so many things that are going wrong. Of course, the announcement of Klopp's departure also at that time it just like fueled everybody up. Everybody wanted to just win the possible leagues or the cups for him, right? And after a point, I just think that reality took over.
Hmm.
Injuries, as Aditya rightly pointed out, we have been very unlucky with injuries. I really don't think our medical team is the best to look after. Like what I don't understand, like what's up with these injuries and why are we not able to bring back the players on time? And finishing has been a critical issue for us because ever since the Brighton game, like ever since I think United maybe cursed us, so like things have just gone really bad for us, and
Yeah,
every game we have the same problems, and we have tried so many permutations and combinations, and nothing seems to be working for us.
yeah,
That's what's scary as a Liverpool supporter also, that we've tried everything. Like the last thing that I was hoping for, that bring dance on the field and just give him, let him play for 30 minutes. Maybe, he comes up with a miracle goal. But other than that, it's a very sad season.
Way too many injuries, dude. Like, if you actually think about it, Jota comes back and he's gone. Like, before you know it, I think probably one of their best players. They've lost Matip, they've lost to Robertson, they had lost at a point in time, lost Trent, Bradley came in, lost Bradley again. Just even that midfield, I don't know, it's not.
Szoboszlai was injured.
Even
for a
Salah
bit.
too. Salah was injured for
Salah
a
was
while.
injured.
I was not there for a
Yeah.
bit.
I think I'm
Gakpo.
gonna make this. I'm gonna make a reel on this, guys. Liverpool players with maximum injuries this season.
Yeah.
Excuses,
It will do it. I think
excuses.
there's so many.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just so many injuries. Um, yeah, Rohit's talking about City. You just get to City in a bit, but just on Liverpool, I think Rishi. Now, is it fair to say that Liverpool are out of the title race? Although mathematically they can still win it.
Like again, mathematically you can say that they're still in, but I don't think either of the teams are giving that kind of a leeway for Liverpool to come through. Like maybe once or twice you slip up, you can say that fine. Like that's where, like, you had the leverage where Arsenal also draw points versus Villa. Like City, you could expect them to draw a game, like one odd game, but the way that Liverpool have consistently been dropping points is, like, at least in today's day and age, the way the teams have been relentlessly pushing towards, the breaking the points barrier, like pushing towards more and more relentless wins. I don't think Liverpool are realistically going to get there. Like, now that, considering City and Arsenal don't have Champions League obligations, they're gonna go all in, all guns blazing for the Premier League. So I don't
Yeah,
think,
I know.
yeah, I don't think Liverpool have it to, yeah.
And do you guys think, by any chance, that the Europa League defeat also sort of played a part, just in terms of confidence, to get to lose to Atlanta, and the manner that they did in the first leg as well, and then, of course, now getting the job done in the second? I think that really took. I mean, confidence also took a hit in that game, and then subsequently, weird tussles between players and the coach. Salah and Klopp getting involved. Although, and you got two different sides of the story. Klopp saying it's all okay. Salah comes and says, if I speak, then
There's
I
fire.
don't know what will happen. Yeah, there's fire. So they're not on the same page also. So actually, all these things, it wasn't. I mean, we never saw it, at least under Klopp.
Yeah, but I think, of course, the defeat to Atlanta did impact the team in some ways. But ever since the international break ended, things were looking off. So the first game after the international break, right from there, things were not okay. And I think, I don't know, I didn't watch the video, but I was told that Salah maybe said that in a funny way and it was taken out of context, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was because, like, he was trying to tell it in the sense of, if I speak, journalists were gonna take it up and make it a big, again, how journalists are.
Oh,
like,
I
let's
read
treat
this,
the
so I
journalists.
have no idea. I don't know what he.
I actually saw the
Yes.
video. He seemed
No,
very
there's a
chill and
video of him
calm.
just walking past and saying the same
Yeah.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And
okay.
yeah.
Possible. Okay.
See, that's the reality of things also, right? Even on Twitter, people are just posting the quote.
The quote. Yeah.
And that
See,
quote
that's the
can be
thing.
taken out of context easily. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the reason he doesn't want to speak, because he'll say something and then they're going to take that as a headline, twist it, etc. I think that was what he was trying to stay there, like, I don't want to speak right now.
But Rahul, do you think that the luck that your other team, BFC, had this season is also going to maybe reflect on the other team that you support eventually towards the end?
Which one? The luck BFC?
BFC.
Terrible luck. I mean, what a terrible season. But I hope not for Arsenal. I mean, I still see City as favorites. Always saw them as favorites. Even when Arsenal were ahead, because I love my club, but it's still weird for us. We're not serial winners. We haven't been since I started watching football. So I still don't have that thing that, oh, you know what, no matter what, we'll get the job done. Although I love this current team, I think it's awesome, the bunch that we have right now. I do see City potentially slipping up. I just hope we win our games. That's the only thing. Adi, you see Arsenal winning the remaining three.
See, it's the same thing for me. It's more of City. We have only 3 weeks left right now, and the next
Yeah.
two games
Yeah,
Arsenal going to play before City. So I think that will help Arsenal because this weekend we are again playing, on Saturday, and next weekend again we'll play United on Sunday, and then City will have a game in midweek with Tottenham. So I think
Yeah.
these 2 weeks are going to be very important. I mean, I can. Thing is, for me, is more of City slipping where Arsenal can take advantage because that's how the table is right now. City have a
Yeah.
game in hand; they're only 1 point
Yeah,
behind us.
yeah.
So, that's the thing, City have a bit of pressure, Arsenal have more pressure because again, they're still on top, they're still challenging for the title, but it's more of how they come back from last season. We know what happened last season. They were literally first for the first 34 game weeks.
248 days. The
Yeah,
number of
exactly,
times
34
that
game
they
weeks. And then we went in a run in of 3-4 games where we drew against Liverpool, West Ham, then we lost against Brighton, we lost against one more team, I don't remember
Yeah, we
who
lost to
it
Brighton.
was.
We drew to West Ham.
Nottingham Forest. We lost to Nottingham.
Yeah, Forest
So
1.
those 4 games we lost, and then it was just a consecutive compounded games of 3-4 games where we continuously went down. And that's happened this season with Liverpool to an extent. You see where they have also lost. So I just feel like this 3 games, it's must win. I mean, you can't
You
do
think that
anything else.
we're going to win like the next three?
I mean, I want to. That's the hope, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, every game I go in saying, I think Arsenal going to win. It's never going to be like, even if we're in the bro, even when Arsenal used to get spanked 3-0 to City, I still think we're going to win. So that's always going to be my mentality.
True, that's true.
Like, you can't help it. But for me, it's more of, I need to concentrate on City slipping. Like, again, when we watched Nottingham Forest game, I was like cursing Chris Wood. Who else was
Yeah,
there?
dude,
Neco
that
Williams. I'm
one
like, bro,
chance.
just
Oh
score.
my
How can't you
god.
do this?
By the way,
Like,
is it
defend your
still
corners properly.
like I saw on Twitter that Nottingham Forest had posted this one saying that they're gonna investigate about this Chris Woods miss, saying like
What?
Dude, the
what-
thing is, so there is our old tweet of Chris Wood where he's tweeted saying City, City, City. This was in like 2014. So then you know how Twitter guys are. They go
Oh.
search old
Man, there's
thing
nothing
and
shady about it.
Because
Nothing's gonna happen. Yeah,
yeah,
this story
bro,
just
that's
got
the
buzzed.
thing.
I could see like the minute I saw that like that looked like an official Nottingham Forest club statement. But I went and checked out their
Like,
Twitter and Instagram. There's no official statement from them. So maybe I thought, okay, maybe in the club website they would have
bro,
posted.
I'll tell you, you get the irony right. I think that was just a joke. 'Cause last time when they were out against Everton, they gave that
Yeah.
the referee salute and fan kind of thing. And Chris Wood is I mean, through his tweets, looks like he's a City fan. I
He's a
think it
City
was
fan.
a parody kind of thing where they're like, now we're going to investigate Chris Wood.
Yeah, bad miss though. Rishi, yeah, dude. In this run, Arsenal play Manchester United at Old Trafford. Not looking great for you. Arsenal have been doing it well away from home. It was 6 clean sheets on the trot before they played Spurs, and we beat Spurs. I thought pretty convincingly. Although there was a bit of a scare in the last 10. You think Manchester United can potentially stop Arsenal? You would love it.
I mean, as much as I'd love it, it's for me like when I look at the fixtures in general, like Arsenal have Bournemouth at home, United away, and Everton at home, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Where City have Wolverhampton
Fulham
Wanderers,
again.
then Fulham and West Ham, Tottenham, and then West Ham.
Yeah, Tottenham.
So, bar the congestion, the fixture congestion, when you look at it from like not just a table point of view, like the way the other teams have been playing, like you see, Bournemouth have been off to like I think they are on course or they've already achieved their highest points tally ever in the Premier League. And you see
Highest.
Everton and
Okay.
Everton are flying like they're buzzed the way they have just potentially they've ended Liverpool's title run.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think
Who
psychologically,
have
Oh,
ended?
I forgot
I don't
about that
know who.
game. I totally forgot about that game.
I think
Like, it
Everton
was
ended the
2-0.
run. That Merseyside derby. And
That's
what a
okay, but
game.
it's funny that so many clubs are taking the credit of our downfall.
Yeah.
I mean, किस line लगी है सबकी.
No, but I think
no,
Everton
United,
really.
Yes, yes,
United
I mean, that was
started the
exactly.
downfall, but Everton were the cherry on top.
Yeah, and I think Everton were up for it.
Very sad.
It was a good, like, I thought it was a
Yeah,
derby.
yeah. They
And, like,
it came out with the sole intention of ruining Liverpool's season.
Yeah.
Like you could see that
Yeah.
like Dyche riled them up. So yeah, anyway, I was saying like when you just look at the way the teams play, like unless Everton have a massive drop off, even they'll be like high in confidence. Like on the other hand, City's opponents have not been comparatively have not been that up to the mark. So I would say not just United fixture. Of course, United fixture is a historic box office fixture, like for Premier League box office fixture. And there's nothing that United fans would love more than spoiling Arsenal's party. But
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, I think the three fixtures in general are looking tougher for Arsenal than it is for City. And like Adi rightly mentioned, like Arsenal play the games before them. So I feel it's it's slightly more difficult for Arsenal to get through than for City. And City have the experience; they've already been there. They have a squad with enough experienced players who've been in like toe to toe title runs. So I feel that is going to give them a slight edge over Arsenal's more youthful squad.
Okay. I actually think otherwise, dude. The reason I'm saying this is because
You're
I
an Arsenal
think
fan?
Everton. I don't know. I mean, of course, but no. But I think easy. See, the one thing I think Everton will get it done. Play at home. Even Bournemouth, they play at home. Both those games probably would have been a little harder if you had played them at
Away.
away from home at Goodison Park or uh, Vitality. But that's not what it is. So we're playing at home. I think at home we'll get the job done. The tricky one I think is still Manchester United away, but just because of Arsenal's away form, I think we'll get the job done. I think on City, on the other hand, showed that they can be susceptible because they nearly went behind against Forest. They have to go, I think, away to Fulham. They don't play at home.
Yeah, they have to go away to Fulham.
Yeah, they also go away to Spurs, and those are two tough away games. And I don't know where they play West Ham. So
West
yeah,
Ham at
I think
home.
yeah. So yeah, I think there's a
The
potential
Arsenal's first game was where?
at
It was
Spurs.
at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah, so I don't know. Actually, you think Manchester City can slip up?
No.
Okay.
I don't see them because because I mean they have played smart. They have done their share of rotations. Anybody can stand up for them on a difficult day, and
Yeah.
they can just surprise people, right? And I even Rishi mentioned this that the fixtures are not that tough for City,
Yeah.
and they have a game in hand. So yes, I don't see them slipping.
I just think Fulham away is going to be tricky. I think Fulham have been really good at home this season, right?
Yeah, no, they have.
They have, right?
Like I
And
remember the United game, I mean, it's not like United were great, but they frustrated and they were hitting us left, right, center on the break. Like they were managing to compress our midfield also. It took us, I think, a Bruno stunning goal to save us in the end. Like Fulham, like at home in Craven Cottage are really good.
yeah, exactly. I think they beat Arsenal as well. So I'm just thinking, yeah, they've been pretty good. I think Fulham away is not going to be an easy game. Adi, you see City slipping up here. What do you think is the toughest fixture they have?
Yeah, I mean, dude, going contrary to Rishi, I feel like City have tricky fixtures,
Yeah.
in terms of you look at Fulham, you look at Bournemouth, they're all looking, I mean, sorry, Fulham and what do you call the West Ham, they're all looking to play, for the Europa spot, right?
Exactly. That's
So,
another factor. Yeah.
yeah. And you look at Tottenham, they're also fighting for the UCL spot. They have very tricky fixtures. They have Chelsea, Liverpool, and then City. So, if they lose the next one or two games or draw, there'll be more pressure on them to win the City game, especially being at home. They might turn up again. City have had really bad luck in that stadium over the past 4-5 years. They've only won one game, which was the FA Cup they won this year. And they haven't won there apart from that one game, which was that was the first time they scored in that stadium. So you can see it's been tricky for them also. I mean, in terms of fixtures, I still feel like Arsenal have it a bit more easier. They have only 3 games left. Bournemouth, Everton. I feel like Everton will be okay by the end of the season. Where they're like relaxed because they don't have the
Yeah.
headache of the relegation. They're literally in the middle, no man's land. Same with Bournemouth again. I mean, they're both are good sides. The tricky fixture will be United because obviously this is a rivalry away from home, Old Trafford. They'll also be looking to get into the Europa League place. So that's one place where like we'll have to show, if we want to be champions, that's that fixture where we'll have to come, show our character. But I still feel like City have tricky fixtures. You can look at Wolves on paper and say it's an easy fixture, but I believe Wolves is a very tricky team. They've been pretty decent the
And with Cunha
entire
back,
season. Yeah, Cunha's back, but I think Aït-Nouri is injured, and I'm sure they have a bit of injury problems also. They don't have Neto, etc. But overall, I feel like Wolves, Fulham,
Wait, I know
Spurs, I
he's
think these
injured
three.
now.
Yeah, he didn't complete last game. He didn't finish this entire game. He got
Yeah, he's
substituted.
still gone.
that's fine. They've
Yeah.
got Bueno's not bad. Like again, like I don't think they. Like, he's
I
not
feel
bad.
like they're tricky fixtures. So, I think City will have to be on the top game. They got lucky with Nottingham Forest, and I've seen this trend over the entire season where City have been a bit lacking defensively. Attacking wise, they've been, again, okay, especially since De Bruyne came back. They have that person who can feed Haaland. Foden's come in during situations and scored, crucial goals. But when I look at City overall, they've been a bit weak in the counter attacks. I mean, they've been more susceptible to the counter attacks. They've conceded a lot of shots. You see against Nottingham Forest, they should have been 2-0 down, 3-0 down actually. Chris Wood had a good chance. Nico Williams had a good chance, and one more guy. Who's the left centre back? I forgot his name. Murillo had a very good chance where he hit the post from outside. So they've been a bit leaky defensively, and especially going to Fulham. Again, Fulham is a team that's going to again press them high, put in intensity. So for me, it's just a hope of they're going to slip up in one of these three fixtures. And at least if it's Spurs who, I mean, for example, we win against United and Spurs just beat them. It's kind of nice where we're beating United, then Spurs are beating City. It's like our two little brothers doing the job for us.
Dude, I mean, if that happens, it'll be awesome. Foden was not in the squad for the previous game. His absence is, of course, something that could be worrying. You guys know anything about when he could potentially return?
Why was he off? I even asked the president.
No, he didn't train during the week also, the week before, but then he played the game in the week.
Which the Nottingham City fixture, he was out, no?
Yeah, he wasn't in the squad. And that week, the week before, he missed training on Tuesday. So, yeah.
I mean,
no clue.
If I were City, I'd be worried if I had a game to play tonight or tomorrow night. But you have a week to go. I don't think they'd be that.
Yeah. But if he was not in the squad, if he would have made it to the bench if he was.
So this Pep has a you can't just write him out Pep's dark arts, bro. He'll tell him
one injury doesn't look good.
Oh really?
That's great. Pep said he was ill.
Yeah, one source says his injury wasn't good. And he's very
close. Yeah, he's very close to.
This guy has some history of just pathologically lying, and then the next day he just.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see what happens. This is not Pep's team. This is another manager where Pep is alive. This league is a pharmacy ad. It's fine. You say what. Foden was ill. He's back next match. Okay, so if he is just ill, then that means he should be back. But let's see what happens with that. And now Arsenal, of course. Thomas Partey is back. It looks like Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard is going to be the midfield for the next few games. He's bought a sort of, again, like Partey has that bit of finesse. That he just brings to the Arsenal midfield. He brought that with him, and he's a little more physical than Jorginho as well. So
he's he's more direct. He's just more vertical. You can see him. He'll get the ball. He'll look forward. He'll always look forward to make that forward pass. You could see that even against Bayern Munich when he came. The first thing he'd do after receiving the ball is try and look to play that direct forward pass. So I think that itself made a lot of positive change for Arsenal.
I mean, I think it's going to be crucial. Adi, have you liked Jorginho in the role, or are you happy Partey's back?
The thing with Jorginho Partey, for me, it's always like a conundrum because both have pros and cons. So when I look at Partey, he is good on the ball, in terms of technical capability he is. But again, dude, there's more to this Arsenal team than just passing it vertical. Because you already have players like Odegaard who can play it vertical, right? If you want Partey to play it vertical, you'll have to have a striker up front, and Havertz just likes running in behind. He doesn't come deep to take in the ball. So in that terms, Partey might help a bit more in terms of keeping the ball in the middle and Rice roaming up front and trying to help us in the press. That's what's helped in the past 2-3 games.
Yeah.
But dude, one thing is with Jorginho, he gets a bit more slowing the tempo in the game, which I prefer over Partey. Partey, I feel like would help a team like Liverpool because they like playing the three attackers going in behind
Yeah.
where you need vertical balls. Like you see that with McAllister with Liverpool. He's a different profile, but for me, the thing with Partey is he's very casual on the ball. You could see against Tottenham, he had two mistakes. In the first half, once where Gabriel passed it towards Partey. It was when we were leading 1-0, and he was casual with it. We got lucky in that. Once more in the second half, also, he got the ball, he received it, it turned. I think it was Romero, someone who pressed him in the midfield. He lost the ball again, but we didn't concede. So there were two times, and it's been there since last year. Even last year against West Ham, he did the same thing. For the first goal, he was casual. It's been there. I've seen him over 3-4 years. So for me, it's always going to be that. Dude, this team has grown so much from last year where everyone's taken more responsibility. They become more smarter and more like you can see the mentality changes there. I feel like getting in Partey back brings those fragments of carelessness which can affect us always. And to like suddenly you see even Raya make some stupid mistake, which I haven't seen him over the past entire season. So I'm not saying it's because of Partey, but I just believe that this team has grown out of Partey where I'd rather have someone like Jorginho. But again, when you get in Jorginho, he's a bit slower. So, Rice will have to do double the defensive work than what he might have to do with Partey. It's going to be like, for me, it's either or, like, both get pros and cons. But for me, again, I think Jorginho has a mentality of he can still be responsible as a player, which I feel more safer, right? I'm happy to take out that physical presence because you look at a back four, you take out Tomiyasu, get in Kiwior, you get that presence where, like Kiwior can win those duels or battles in the midfield, which he's done before. He did that against Liverpool, and the consistent run of games where he played, he was pretty strong. And, same thing happened with Wolves. He came back and you could see us winning a lot of duels in their left-hand side. So I'd rather have Kiwior back. That's more important for me. Then I can, get in Jorginho. I feel like that is, for me as a Arsenal fan, that just seems more safer. Because again, look at Tomiyasu. He's not just that great 1v1, especially on the left wing. I think his only good game on a left back has come when he played Salah last year.
Yeah, that's true. That's
the only. I feel like that game made him a left back. Like he never played left back for Arsenal since then. But like since then, he's played certain games, and I just don't think. I feel like that's more of an issue. Like Tomiyasu at left back for me.
But I have a question, Rahul, for you. That what do you think has changed, especially from the mentality aspect of Arsenal? Because last season the way the team finished, and this season there's a visible change in the attitude of Arsenal on the field, and it was quite visible after the Spurs match also.
I think Declan Rice is a huge plus for Arsenal, just mentality wise. Even after he conceded the penalty himself against Spurs, after the penalty went in, he said, "You know what? Let's go, guys." He didn't sit and he wasn't sad about it, and he didn't moan about it or cry about it. He was on it. He's like, next second, he was the one who conceded it. Usually, you'd need another teammate to come and say, "Hey, you know what? It's okay, don't worry." But the guy is so mentally strong. He's literally himself saying, "I'm fine. It's fine. It's not going to happen again. I know it's not going to happen again," and move on. Like Declan Rice is just. I didn't know how good he was until he became an Arsenal. Just the mentality and the way he moves. I mean, I'm a huge Declan Rice fan already. I think he is somebody who's changed a lot for Arsenal. And on top of that, Kai Havertz. People had their reservations about Kai Havertz even when he came in. Adi and I had arguments about Havertz as well. But I remember I told him it's not that Havertz is not a good player. I think there was a confidence thing initially, and he had to slowly be fed into the team because the Arsenal fan base as such was not a very forgiving fan base, and I don't think people were very forgiving for those initial performances that Havertz had. So I think there was a lot of pressure, but then you can see the player is there. He's so clean. He doesn't make too many missed passes. He wins his aerial duels. So many aerial duels. I think Havertz is one.
He's
even
tall.
Against Spurs,
He's a very tall player.
Yeah, but he comes off as a skinny, lanky dude. he's winning what 90% of his aerial duels against bigger guys, and that's he's really got something, and he troubles defenders. He's got a presence about him, and he can really irritate defenders. I love those kind of players. Things like what Ben White does, go and pull Vicario's gloves and all of that, like whatever, dude. Like all things like that, I think make a difference when you play football. These things have really made, I think, Arsenal a winning team, and even to have Leandro Trossard, he's such a clutch goal scorer, and that's the thing. That's the thing that I feel like we never got with Martinelli is just Trossard just shoots. It doesn't matter if it looks good or it doesn't. If it's there, he hits it, and yeah, and he scores goals. And I just feel like unfortunately that didn't come with Martinelli. But yeah, just overall, if you look at it, you have options. You don't Martinelli doesn't do well. You have Trossard to come in. If you want, you can push Jesus out wide now because you have Havertz in the middle. So just in terms of options, I think the players also believe that we don't have too many problems in this team. So it's just gelling very well, and just mentally, of course, Declan Rice I think is a huge plus. So yeah, that's me. Well, Akshada, player of the season for you? Any Liverpool players you want to chuck in there?
McAllister, I think, has like really
Okay.
surprised me, pleasantly surprised me.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I mean, off late, I'm consciously not trying to think about Liverpool, so and the
Okay.
players. So maybe the last day of the season will be the best day for me to tell who was the player of the season. Van Dijk also, like he has really showed up in his role. So yes.
Van Dijk, McAllister, Rishi, any players you want to chuck in? Not United players, of course.
Yeah, of course not. I think overall, like, it's also narratives. Like, so I'm pretty sure if City win the league, like, Rodri is a clear-cut favorite to win. And, like,
Bro,
the
you
kind
know,
of.
somebody explain this to me.
Hmm.
How is Rodri player of the season contender? He's been sent off twice during the season, and one of them was a
He's
straight
come
red.
up. He's come. Yeah, that's for the neck grab, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
That was
dude,
the
you
second
missed
yellow.
as a defensive midfielder, the best, whatever, most important guy in your team. You've missed 4 games, 3 games, whatever.
Even I think he has come up in clutch moments with really clutch goals, and more importantly, like, I think for me, at least in how I define the player, that the clutch player that you are, is how the team functions without you. I think City, he is one player with whom City does not function at all. Like, you can take out Foden, like Bernardo can put in a shift. You take out Grealish, like, okay, different type of winger, but still Doku can come in and do a thing or two. Like, or De Bruyne was out for an extended period. They weren't that affected by it. Haaland is out. You have Alvarez coming in. Alvarez is a different type of a striker. And even in the entire defense, you have players, except for Walker, maybe, like the other defenders are all replaceable. But I think Rodri is one player, like City is not, like, you can look at their numbers also, like the games in which, like, I think their win percentage with and without Rodri are
Yeah,
like day and night.
he's not lost a game, I think, in a City
Yeah,
shirt
but
yet.
that's because
That
City
in
have only
Champions
one
League,
Rodri, right? Like you
like
talk about
Champions
Rodri,
League,
the
like how are they
Yeah, they don't
saying?
have that profile of player exactly.
dude, exactly. You can't replace him because that's the only profile they have. Like if you're telling Foden goes out, they have a right winger with Silva, etc. You
That's
take
true.
out, they
No,
have Doku.
I'm
That's
not
easy,
saying.
obviously, but
Yeah,
you
that's
look at
true.
other
That's true.
teams, you take out.
I'm not like asking as to why he is. Like, it's just at the end of the day, like, this is the matter of the fact. Like, okay, maybe they don't have a backup CDM. Maybe they'll soon go to the market and look for a CDM. But right now,
Yeah, but
like, I
we're
think
we're
the
talking
same
about player
applies
of the
for.
season, right? We're
Yeah, I
not talking
think.
about a good player. We're telling you who's been the best player this season. When you
Yeah,
look at
Like, the
City,
same, I was going to use the same logic when it comes to Arsenal winning the league also. Like, if Arsenal wins the league, I think for me it has to be Declan Rice. Like from, like, Raul rightly said,
dude,
the biggest
this
difference from last season to this season has been Declan Rice. So I
not
think for
really.
me it probably would be one of these two players. Like, yeah, I think,
dude,
yeah, like
I don't
Sahil
understand how
mentioned, Cole
he
Palmer
lets that
also
go.
But
deserves.
then I can say Declan Rice has conceded 2 penalties. He's made silly mistakes. So how can you take
Exactly,
him?
exactly.
So
Like
my
like
dude,
like
that's the thing.
Raul
Like
said, like
football,
Rodri has missed 4 games, but Declan Rice has also conceded 2 penalties, although they didn't cost them the game as much. But they are players. Like, I don't think there has been any player who has been consistent 38 games, who has been available, who has been dropping 8.5 or 9 out of 10s for like, consistently over the
Yeah,
season.
I
For
mean,
me, I would like to judge a player on how much he impacts the team and how much of a difference that player makes for the team in that season. That's how I think I would like to define a player.
Mm. Where does Cole Palmer stand, Adi? And where does Declan Rice stand for you in this conversation?
dude, the thing is with this thing of like CDMs are important. See, they're underrated players, right? Whatever CDM does, it's going to be magnified 10 times more important because they're again the heart of the team, the core of the team. You look at any team, you take out, you go to Barcelona, they have always had a Busquets. Go to Real
Yeah.
Madrid, they've always had Toni Kroos. So they're always going to be these players who are always going to give you performance. But a difference maker is always a goal scorer, right? That at the end of the day, football is about scoring goals in clutch moments. So you have to look at a season where players have scored important goals and in winning moments. This season, two players that have done, in my opinion, one is
Alexander
Foden and
Isak.
one is Saka. Sorry,
I think if that's the case, then I think Alexander Isak should also deserve a shout.
dude, we're
If we're
talking about
going,
the best players. I mean, you can tell Isak is a good goal scorer, etc. But we're talking about like the best players come out of the best teams, and you can't. Have you ever seen a player who's given player of the season for coming? Cole
yeah, that's
Palmer, for
true.
example, he's had 20 goals, 10 assists, but Ole Watkins is one player I would actually put in the shout
Put
for
above. Fair enough.
player of the
Like
season with
non-penalty
Foden,
goals, I
with
think, yeah, I
Saka,
think Ollie
because these
Watkins
players
is
are
right.
actually, yeah, these players are actually who've elevated them. Scoring goals and assists at the end of the day is what football is all about. Like, I get it, Rodri's great and is important for City because of the way he holds the defense, shields the defense in front, and he also helps control the tempo. You would see with Rice, he's literally carrying the entire midfield from left to right, up and down. But bro, for me, it's always about the goal scorers. Like even in the Messi, Ronaldo era, you had midfielders who were always good, but they were never the best players in the world, right? For me, it's always like who have been consistently good in those clutch moments. And this season, I feel like it's for me. I can give it to anyone of Foden, Saka, Watkins. I would, the narratives of Saka, Foden's always good, but if we were talking purely based on performances, I would give it to Ole Watkins because what he's done this season has been only two players have done this ever before. That is Luis Suarez and Thierry Henry. He has double-digit goal and assist, which no one has done that. No one's done that. Even you look at Haaland, he used to score goals last season. He's never assisted his team. You can see how Villa depend on Watkins.
Yeah.
And Villa being fourth position, with the amount of teams that are there, United, the amount of money they've spent, Chelsea, the amount of money they've spent, Newcastle also with the amount of money they've spent. You look at Watkins, he's been that player who's been consistently performing from day one. He's that one player. He missed a couple of games, but he's been consistently performing. So I would give, in all honesty, I would give it to, Watkins. But, again, player of the season comes down to whoever wins the title. That storyline is what they always want. So it's
Watkins has
for
also been a
example,
vice choice in the FPL. Sorry, Aditya.
sorry.
No, and
He's
Sal's
also
also
been a vice choice in the FPL. Sorry.
yeah,
Exactly.
100%. I don't have Watkins because I mean these guys have him. So, but yeah, Gareth Bale won Player of the Season for his performances for Spurs 2013. This was despite not making it into the top four. He's just giving Sal just giving an instance of when it did happen. So Watkins potentially could still win it by that logic. And Cole Palmer is another player I think who has been spoken about heavily, and he scored a load of goals in a very bad Chelsea team. Akshita, you think he deserves a shout as well?
Yes, and the one match that recently he didn't play in, Chelsea was just
Not good.
embarrassing. Of course, they have been embarrassing in quite a number of games, but that game just made one realize the role that Cole has been playing in the team. So yes,
Right,
he
ridiculous,
deserves-
dude. Actually, if you just think about it, 20 goals, 9 assists.
But when you look at the
How
number
many
of goals he
Penalty,
scored,
penalty goals. I know you want to say penalty goals.
it's dude, it's not about non-penalty goals. It's about the number of goals he scored against the top teams, right? That's what matters.
Fair
When you
enough.
look into his stats deeply, he actually doesn't create that many chances. I look at his when I look at him play, he's again a nice, tidy player who can like Odegaard, like in terms of like he's very good technically. But if you call him a difference maker, you look at the way he plays. Like, dude, I'm sorry to say, his first 7 goals were penalties, right?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
scored 11 non-penalty goals, which is fine. I'm not
He's
saying
got
that.
11 non-penalty goals. But I think
But
he, struggling Chelsea side, he's still the shining light for them. There is Nicholas Jackson. I don't think we have to say anything about him. Noni Madueke, not good enough. Neither are
Madueke is a
Mikhailo.
very good player. Like,
Come
dude, come on. Did you see the Arsenal game? He was the one who was creating the most number of chances. Dude, I was scared every time he got the ball.
on. He's
How?
very.
He's been very good this season against
He's
a
still
very,
not at. I don't think he's at the level of Palmer. Not even close.
obviously not at the level of Palmer, but a
Yeah, but
team, you
he's
look at Madueke, is still a very good player. I think he has potential. He's been good over the past 3, 4, 5 games. Against Arsenal, he was their best player, right? He's the one who created chaos on the right side. But I think thing is Cole Palmer is it's just that he gets bailed out through penalties, etc. And you look at the assists he's had, like most of his assists are not chance creations. He just gives a pass to someone else and someone else cuts in shoes kind of thing. You just like look at each of his assists and goals. It's kind of sus in my opinion.
okay. Bro, I've seen him score some really good ones. He's got neat feet.
Yeah, he does.
Not
But
really good ones, da. Like I think the
he
one
was
against
against
United was
Everton,
some
by the way.
deflection.
Okay.
Like the goal against United was a huge deflection. Like
Dude, exactly against the United game, they were like Cole Palmer, wow, wow, wow. What he did, he just scored a penalty and a deflected goal. Like
he scored 2
that's
penalties, if
what.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, sorry, 2 penalties and a deflected goal, and then everyone's like, wow, this
No,
guy's a
I'm not
player.
talking about the hat trick, but I'm talking about like some of the goals I've seen him score. That good, bro. I mean,
But I don't think
he's got
when
neat
we're
feet.
talking
He's
about
got a good
player
left
of the
foot.
season, when we
No,
talk
I'm
player
not
of the
saying
season,
I'm not saying Cole Palmer's player of the season. I'm just saying probably the struggling Chelsea side, even then to score 20 goals. Although
yeah, it's a
9 or
great feat.
9,
But like, bro, Isaac also has 19 goals where Newcastle have struggled the entire season, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Solanke has scored a lot of
yeah, fair
goals.
enough.
I mean, in the same
Solanke
situation of
also,
Chelsea
yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
in terms of points. So like, there are a lot of players who've done the same thing.
No, I don't think any of them would be in the player of the this thing top 3 or anything player of the season. Solanke, um, whoever it is, Isak or Palmer, but yeah, I think they've all done respectively well for their respective teams. That's all I'm saying. But let's finish it off with this. Rishi, who wins the Premier League title?
I think City. I hope it's City.
Adi?
Bro, I'll tell you on May 18th, 17th,
Yeah,
whenever the last day is.
No,
I know who's
okay.
gonna win it, but it's just gonna be with me, bro.
Okay, fine. Adi, that means Arsenal, but okay. Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah,
a
what about
good.
you?
True.
Like, okay, as an Arsenal fan, you're of course gonna hope that
No,
Arsenal
I'm
are
not
gonna win.
hoping. I'm not hoping. I'm saying.
Are you
Arsenal.
confident?
I think there's a slip up, bro, at Craven Cottage. Just watch. But
Fair
yeah, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think till the end of the season. May 19th is the last day. Adi said. 3 more weeks, and we'll know who the Premier League champion is. It's been an amazing run. I think this
Dude,
has
but
been one of the better seasons.
what
Yeah.
about the top 4 race? Who do you think comes fourth?
Dude, I think Spurs finish fourth, bro.
Wait.
They've got 2 games in hand, no, on Villa.
But they have to place Chelsea, City, Liverpool. You realize 3 games can be 3 potential losses.
Bro, they'll beat Chelsea. I think they'll beat Liverpool.
Huh? Yeah, but the point is they can still lose. Like the point is they have 3 games continuously. I mean, it's not going to be easy because Villa have also 2 games in hand to play, right? 2-3 games. Sorry,
Villa
We'll have 3 games. Same thing.
3 games. Yeah, 3. So what if Villa win the next 2 games and then, for example, Spurs lose the next 2 games?
Villa,
you can also.
Villa have Liverpool to play by the way.
And Villa also have
They're
Conference
playing
League.
home though.
Yeah, they have conference game against Olympiacos.
But it's not going to be a huge difference because they're going to play 1 game extra, 2 games extra because Spurs also have 4 games. They're playing. See, even Spurs are going to play Chelsea on Thursday. Villa will play whatever their team on Thursday, right? Then they play a game. Then they again have a next. It's almost the same number of games. So like even Tottenham have to play 2 midweek games. If
Yeah.
you look at it.
True.
So it's almost the same.
I would love for Villa to make it actually, but
I hope amongst the 2 teams I really want to see Villa make it to the top 4.
And
let's see.
what about the race of Europe? I think United, Chelsea, Brighton, all are like pretty close.
Wait.
Does Chelsea have like a game in hand?
Chelsea have Yeah, they have a game in hand over United.
Yeah, United have a game in hand.
Yeah.
See, I mean, Newcastle have a game in hand. I think Newcastle is United is the game in hand. I'm sorry, right?
Yeah, United. Yeah, correct.
So that Chelsea also there. Brighton also there, if I'm not wrong. Actually, I think they're
No,
gone
no,
because
Brighton are there.
yeah,
West Ham are
You
there.
know, weirdly,
yeah,
Burnley
West Ham
was-
are there.
yeah.
because
But
they played. No, I think it's Chelsea, Newcastle, United, and Tottenham Villa. One of them.
Dude,
Let's
even
see.
the relegation battle actually, because what do you mean? Like Nottingham
Bro, I
Forest
just
is
want
only like
Luton. I want Luton to survive somehow.
No man.
but they're
I
playing
want-
dude, the
yeah,
thing is that
no.
it's Burnley, Luton, and all that Nottingham. So those three are like anyone can get relegated because it's only a difference of
Yeah.
2 points.
Exactly. I want
For them
Luton to
also.
survive. I don't mind Burnley and Forest going down. That's
Dude,
No,
Forest.
man.
Dude, the thing with Luton Town, I don't like their home ground, so I don't want them to stay next
Bro, I
season.
love their home ground. That's why I want them to stay.
That gives me like Kantirava if the Kantirava stands were closer, such a small, closely packed
Yeah,
crowd.
cozy ground. Nice ground.
And but I hope Luton goes down, man, because United have plans to buy a left back and we need Alfie Doughty.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, we'll wrap it up with this. Going to be fun. May 19th. I think we can do one more before that. So as we get sort of closer to the final day, probably in a week or 2 weeks time.
Maybe
I think
before the last fixture.
after City have played their double game week, we can
Yeah.
and see where we stand. And by then, Arsenal also would have played a couple more. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Please do like and share these videos. Subscribe to Sports Covery. And yeah, if you want more Premier League content, drop it in the comments. So yeah, we'll be working on it. Thanks, guys.